Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne's Sharp World. I hope everyone is doing great out there. I hope everyone had a very Merry Christmas, and I hope all of you got at least one knife you wanted off your Christmas list. Today, we're going to take a look at two knives coming out of Remette. An updated version with what is supposed to be an improvement, as well as a new model that is very much out there. And speaking of out there, are you guys ready for the weirdest week of the year? The week between Christmas and New Year's? I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's like the Twilight Zone. I'm not a fan of this week. So I'm going to buckle down and push through the week and ring in a new year, which I'm very excited to do. But before we get into all that, let's start taking a look at these knives. Let's see what Remette is coming out with. Now, this version here is actually... well, at least before all this started, it was my favorite Remette that I've handled. It's a really cool design. This here is the Remette Rhinoceros. Now, this is not the first Remette Rhinoceros. The first Remette Rhinoceros I had was actually this one right here. And as you can see, there's a very, very slight, subtle difference here. And you actually can't even see it. I mean, technically, they do have a slightly different type of micarta here. But the big difference is what lies between these scales. And as you can see here, what they've done... So, this is the new version. Let me backtrack. Let me set this aside for a sec. And let me just give you a quick little reintroduction to the original Rhinoceros. A button lock, a double detent button lock. So you can't, when you push the button in, you can't just flip it out. There is another detent in there holding it. So you can front flip it and you can middle finger flick it and do all the thumb stud stuff to kick the blade out. And I thought it was fine. Double detent button locks are, they're cool, they're whatever. It's just another form of a button lock. But as you can see, there was no liner locking under the blade here. It was just very much a button lock, a regular button lock type of knife. Now insert the new Remette Rhinoceros, where as you can see here, the liner actually comes out and locks under the blade. So it's kind of, I don't know. I'm not really sure how I feel about it. It definitely has a different action. To them, this is an improvement. I wouldn't say it's, I don't know if it's an improvement. It's a change. And I don't know if it's a bad change. To be honest, I'm very much in the middle on it. What I don't like is this right here. Very wobbly, loose button there. Now it's not coming out. Like it's in there, and it's like, I believe, to the best of my knowledge, it is there from my experience of using the knife, it's in there, but it's, boy, oh boy, it's really wobbly. So that's obviously very bad, not good, because you don't have any wobble with this button. And in general rule, you don't ever have the button lock wobble on you, or at least the button of a button lock knife. It usually never wobbles. This one here, as you can see, yeah, no wobble. This one, very wobbly. So, yeah, I don't know. They sent these to me. They want to say, hey, you want to make a video about it? Take a look at it. I said, okay. And when someone sends me something, I have to make a video of it. And I don't sign a contract or anything like that, but it's my word to them. I will make a video for your product if you send it to me. So, I have to do it, unfortunately. It's, I don't know. The action, I do feel like the action's better, but I mean, yeah, I definitely can't recommend buying this with a wobbly button. Now, granted, this is just one. I've handled two other of these Rhinoceroses, and the older ones didn't have the button lock wobble. I really don't know what to say about it at this time, other than I do think it's a really nice design. I've really backed this model in the past because I really do like the ergos, the blade shape. I like a lot of things about it. And the double detent never really bothered me, and I never had any lockup issues with just the regular button lock type. But then with this new version here, I mean, yeah, it's a liner lock. So as a matter of fact, let's check something. I haven't even done this yet. Okay, so it definitely survives a good spine whack. So it has a really nice lockup here. And I like that a lot. What I don't love is that wobbly button. So yeah, my conclusion between this knife is, I don't know. I don't know if I got a lemon. I don't know what happened. But yeah, just so you know, that's the difference between the Remette Rhinoceros V1 and V2, is one has a liner lock in the mixed in with the button lock, and the other one does not. I believe that will specify it in the listings. I will try and link both these two below, but I'm not exactly sure. I haven't went on to look at the Amazon listing myself. So, that is the change to the Remette Rhinoceros. It's not always sunshine and rainbows, guys. It's just kind of, sometimes it is what it is. And now we're taking a look at this thing here. This is the Remette Urbane. This is a brand new model. Let's take a look at this. You have a pouch, you have a slip, and then you have this thing. It looks very fancy. Very, very fancy. Unfortunately, with this one, it's not all sunshine and rainbows either. There are some good things to it, but there's a few things that I just really can't, I don't know. There's a few things that are really holding me back on this. And we're going to go into a full review of this because I've actually had this for quite a while now. I was waiting for quite a while to get the other Rhinoceros in because I told him I can't make 2 videos. There's not enough content for 2 videos. So now that I have them both, we can talk about this now, the Urbane. What we're looking at is an overall length of 7.8 inches, a blade length of 3.2 inches, and a blade thickness at 125 thousandths. We have Damascus steel with, I believe, a reverse Tonto style blade shape, or maybe a modified reverse Tonto. You tell me. Flat grind, handle length coming in at 4.3 inches. And the one really nice thing about this knife is, with the exception of the lock bar insert up here, this is using titanium. So we have titanium liners and diamond wood, desert ironwood for the handle scales. And I believe this is titanium too. I believe. More to come on those things though. We have a liner lock locking mechanism with a rather good lockup. A user of a right hand only tip up carry, a weight of 2.9 ounces for a knife that is 7.8 inches long. 2.9 ounces is really nice and light. I will say that's definitely the best thing about this knife for me is just how light it is. It does feel really light for the size. The price, I really can't get behind this price. I understand it's got titanium. This guy is coming in at $135, available on Amazon. So yeah, there'll be links below. But like I said, for $135, I really do think you can get better out there. But this is why, because this knife has some issues. And we're going to talk about that. Let's do a quick size comparison here. I do have a couple knives. I'm in the middle of cleaning my office, and man, oh man, have I had a lot of knives to clean up and move around. It's been quite the day. Let's see here. Let's just grab a couple that are close by me. Here we have the Caviso exclusive QSP Penguin, as well as the Hogue Deca. Still an amazing American-made EDC knife. And as you can see, it's a little longer than the Penguin and the Deca. So those are really the only 2 knives I have by me right now. Usually I have like a buttload of knives to my right, and I just don't right now. So that'll have to do. And now let's talk about this blade, because there really are some good things about this blade too. The problem is it doesn't all come together for me. What we're looking at here is a very sharp and slicey blade. Behind the edge reading of my calipers was 15 thousandths, and it definitely cut through paper and cut through some cardboard like it was 15 thousandths behind the edge. So that was kind of nice. I'm not a big fan of the Damascus. I would have much rather seen 14C28N here, which is what they have on all the Rhinoceroses. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's 14C28N on the Rhinoceroses. I thought I said that somewhere. Okay, we're getting lost in the weeds. Now I'm going to check this one real quick. Okay, I think there's 14C28 on here. Wish they would mark the blade steels on there. But yes, so Damascus, not great. What is kind of nice is it has a lot of deployment methods. This hold down here works really well. The front flipper works really well. And the thumb studs work really well. The problem is the regular flipper, if you don't like move your finger out of the way like that, this flipper, you'll kind of get, let's see, if you push button it, you get that. You get the front flipper hitting your finger. That's really not ideal. I've noticed that on another knife, and I'm going to address that. I really hope that doesn't become a trend in 2024, is knives that have a front flipper and a regular flipper that don't work well together, because that is a real problem. That's that attention to detail that I really hope doesn't get lost, because I haven't had that issue for a while. So yeah, so the blade, there are some pros, there are some cons. At the end of the day, I'm not paying $135 for, Damascus that isn't going to perform as well as 14C28N and all this other stuff. So I kind of have an issue with that there. The handle, the ergos are okay. The ergos in terms of just feel and hand, it's actually a really well-balanced knife. Like I said, it's not heavy, so it feels nice in the hand. But then you have the issue of just too much going on. I really think that's the biggest problem with this knife is they tried to do way too much. These bolsters here, I just like flowers and things and whatnot. First of all, that's not really my style. I'll be completely honest. You guys know this channel is, it's very opinionated. It's what I like in knives. I like bringing you guys stuff that I like, that I think is good. This was not nearly what I was expecting, I guess, to put it lightly. And these bolsters here, they're loose. Not like really loose, like they don't rattle, but I can do that and just move them around a little. Like, yeah, I don't like that. I really don't like that on any knife, especially for $135. That's a problem. Maybe they don't all do that. I'm not saying they all do, but the sample I have does that. And it's going to bring my confidence down in recommending this knife. Especially in addition to the fact that I just really think this does not look that great. I do notice that there's a hidden pivot and there's no screws. So while it looks different, I just don't, it doesn't wow me. That doesn't impress me, especially when you have issues because of that. So yeah, that just doesn't work. I do like the wood scales. I think the wood scales are nice. I don't really have any issues with the wood scales at all. Has a nice fit and finish on it. It looks good, has nice grain. I think the clip back here is nice. But it's just, again, it's a mishmash of things. The liner lock access, you guys know I always that's one of the more important things for me, because any true functioning aspect of a knife when it comes to deployment or closing, that all has to be good. And the liner lock here, it's kind of like sharp, and I'm not saying sharp like it's going to cut you, but it feels sharp. It feels like it needs to be chamfered, because when you go to put your finger in there, it just feels like a very, very acute kind of sharp edge that I don't like. I really don't like that. I like the fact that they did put some beveling on there. So like the beveling on there is nice, but they didn't chamfer it enough at the very end right here. And you notice that when you go to close the knife, especially when we're talking $135 here. Those are the things that can really make it or break it. And in this case, it is breaking it. To the action. It's another really nice part of this knife. The actual action of the knife is very smooth. It's smoother than any Remette I've ever handled. So there are some positives here, but I mean, yeah, it's not enough to win me over. Really like the smooth action. Really like the thumb studs. Those are really nice for the middle finger flicking, as well as even just the little cutout here. Even though it's small, it's very easy for me to get my middle finger in there and kick the blade out. So I like that. It is rather easily reach around approved. So the action aspect in terms of smoothness is good. What happened here is just, like I said, way too much going on. And ultimately, for me, this knife is a fail. I think there's some potential here. If it was me and I was at Remette and I was going to do something with this knife to make it better, I would get rid of the fake bolsters. These look not good at all. Just put regular titanium bolster on here or something other than just put a regular pivot. Get rid of all the hidden stuff. Get rid of either the regular flipper or the front flipper. One of the two. You only need one on this model because you already have a nice blade cutout and thumb studs that work good for deployment. One of these has to go. And go with 14C28N and then take another look at the price. And because this is not a $135 knife, it has the action of a $135 knife. I will give them that. The action, there it goes again. The action is very nice. But altogether, it's an L for me. It really is. I think the overall outline is nice. If it was me, if I had to delete one of these two, I would delete the rear flipper. And then you have, a knife that looks pretty good without a flipper tab. It would be very easy to deploy it in all the methods you have, and then you could kind of smooth that out, so you would kind of have like a choilish area up here, which would be really nice. That would be really nice. So that's what I would do. This design or kind of model, it has potential, but it needs a lot of improvements. There's a lot of really weird things going on with this that I just can't get behind. I can't recommend it. And unfortunately, the wobbly button on the Rhinoceros, while the action does seem to be a little better, and the lockup is very nice with this liner lock, as you guys can see, easily passes the spine whack test. Got to fix that wobbly button. So, unfortunately, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, but that's a review, guys. Let me know what you think of these Remette models. Let me know what knives you got for Christmas. What did you get good? Let me know. I want to hear it. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And until the next one, I'm out.